Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, I'm just here for the Dark Angel's inner circle jerk.
Yeah, the lion returns.
Shout out to Stiff Neck Studios for that. That was unplanned. I saw it in chat right now, and I was like, I'm saying that. And the lion returns, as Wyatt said.
Yeah, 100% confirmed. Don't question it.
Haspil is away on official business. Maybe we'll get him back next week. We have to pray to the own Messiah.
He's always in our hearts. We'll learn by the end of this podcast that Haspil was always with us.
Yep.
Haspil's been here the whole time.
He's been here the whole time, inside of your heart. And I mean,
next to Cadia.
So it's been an exciting week. People have gotten their Death Guard codexes. Mortarion's not OP. Now we've got Dark Angel leaks all over, or previews all over Warhammer community.
Yeah, give it a day or two. We'll get some leaks.
Can't wait for that leak.
All over the floor.
I want the leak in and all over my face. Dark Angel secretly is kind of, I've always liked him. I've always been a fan of him as far as like I'm suspending joking. As far as loyalists are concerned, it's not opposite day. I've always liked them. I think they have really cool fleshed out lore. Like, I like the style, the look. I like the kind of a depression, that shrouds their entire lore. Like, I always think about like their antithesis, in the good guy spectrum. I think of the space wolves, and I always imagine like what a space wolf like feasting, like what the hall feel like, the cafeteria looks like.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like they drink. They're
smashing mugs, and they got their banners of their victories, and they're just recounting how dope today was. And it's like you think of like the Catholic boarding school imagery, and they're all sitting there like shrouded in lies because they can't even talk about it. You know what I mean? And I think about like that crazy. Like I always thought they had some cool shit. End of that. Now back to joking. All that aside, they're fucking heretics, and so.
Well.
I've always liked them. I really like the Deathwing. I used to have a Deathwing army back in the day, and I was talking to my Dark Angel buddy, and I was like, "Man, I hear the call. I feel it. I want to get back into it, but I'm only allowing myself to like maintain with the 3 collections that I have right now. So I'm not going to buy into it again."
Well, the cool thing about Dark Angels is it's almost like 3 separate armies. It always kind of has been, and I think the earliest previews we saw have kind of teased that, but we might be getting ahead of ourselves. We got lots of Titanicus to talk about, and I guess there's a joke or something somewhere. I don't know.
No, I've suspended a clock on all Titanicus discussions solely based on knee cannons, and as long as that momentum is maintained,
that's what did it for you.
You get a week to mess with it. And when that thing is released and it's yesterday's news, like back on the clock.
Yeah, I'm not hitting the clock anymore but if you deviate from things as cool as knee cannons, I'm hitting the clock again.
3 words: armored cockroach.
Oh, okay. That meets my criteria. So
okay.
I'm looking forward to that discussion. So let's accelerate. Let's just go into the joke segment.
Yeah. Would you rather eat 1 donut-sized spider or 1,000 spider-sized donuts?
Obvious first question. How big of a donut are we talking about here?
Yeah.
You're like your
donut
bear
hole.
claw,
A bear claw.
I said a donut, not a donut hole.
A bear claw is a pastry. Come on, man.
Well, yeah.
That's an excessively large pastry.
A standard, New York-sized donut.
We're not like bigger than a Dunkin' Donuts standard donut then?
Yeah. Those are
sounds like it.
Bitch ass donuts.
So we're definitely talking about one of those a little bit bigger donuts. Okay, so so what was the other? Because I didn't even hear the other one. I was like
1,000 spider-sized donuts.
Obviously, I'd rather. Oh, hold on. What kind of spider? How big of a spider?
Yeah, like a little baby spider.
Or the same size spider here that we're talking about, we referenced in the first
spider is random. You have to roll for it. A 1 being like a tiny little teeny tiny spider, a 100 being a camel spider.
So it's a D100?
Yeah, I mean, like if you want to roll a D100 right now, I can tell you exactly.
Rob, pull out a D100 and throw that thing down.
Who has a D100?
All right, I'll roll.
Wyatt has one on his app, guaranteed.
Oh yeah, there's
pull out
now.
2 dice.
Whatever he rolls is going to inform.
61.
Oof, so bigger than average. Bigger than an average.
Bigger than average.
So if we're saying that, so what I'm saying is like the New York sized donut, I'm assuming is the 100.
Yeah.
Right. So we're saying it's 60% as big as is that.
Yeah.
And is this a one-time bullshit or is this a daily bullshit?
No, this is just like a one and done.
One and done. And I have to do I have a time limit and how is it 1 day time limit, 24-hour period, eat 1,000 of these?
Nah, because like you can spread that out. So I'd say like 10 hours.
10 hours.
Get like a working day.
And I have no choice. The evil djinn magic forces me.
Yeah, it's eat or die. Yeah.
Like eat or die. We're talking about eat or die.
You or get banned to the Shadow Realm.
I'm eating that fucking spider.
I feel like one spider. Like first of all, if I'm going to eat 1,000 anything, I'll just eat a bowl of rice. So,
I mean, that's not a choice, Rob.
No.
What?
It's not a choice on the table.
Like, let me set the scene for you. So you're going about your day. You know, you wake up, you put your human skin suit on, go to have some breakfast.
You're making a lot of assumptions.
You're magically transported. You're locked into a chair in a shadow room, and there's the evil djinn, and he's like, "If you
there's a clock right next to your Titanicus clock ticking down for 10 hours."
Yep.
And he has offered you a simple choice: a bear claw sized fucking spider right now, or New York sized donut spider right now, or you can roll a D100, a 100 being bear claw sized. And you can infer the difference therein of percentages. That many times 1,000 spiders you have to eat, or donuts.
I'm gonna eat the one spider.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat the spider.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat one spider. If I want to eat 1,000 anything, I'll eat rice or some other appropriately sized.
But the thing is, you won't be able. I can't trust that I'm gonna roll low enough on that D100 to accomplish the task. I'm gonna be banished to the Shadow Realm. So I'm gonna eat that fucking spider. Someone in chat's like, "Is it alive?" Of course, it's a fucking live. The fucking djinn is an asshole. It's a living spider. I'm going to have to harangue.
Dude, I gave these guys like 3 softballs in a row. Like, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back. The djinn's back. The dirty djinn.
I'm going to have to.
Yeah, the holidays are over. There's no more Christmas
dirty
cheer. You know.
I'm going to spend the first like 2 hours of this 10-hour timer like building up the courage to jump on this spider and corner it and murder it in a way that, you know, makes it not horrible. And then I'm going to spend the next like 20 minutes like psyching myself out, getting into a fugue state and grabbing that corpse and jamming it into a ball and shoving it in my mouth and just doing it. Like, and I'm out of the Shadow Realm. It's going to be like the worst 4 hours of my fucking life. And I'm back to real life. Not dead, not a corpse, not living in the Shadow Realm.
I like all the different answers in the chat. All right, we got a boy from Australia. He's like, yeah, spiders here, not an option. I'll take the D100.
What do they do about everything there kills them? Do they like spray for death?
They're
venomous.
They're not
just
poisonous.
like hardcore as fuck, dude. Like that's just.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
they are venomous.
They're like the Texans of below the equator.
No, you're in the Shadow Realm. There's no bacon, Crickster. I'm locked in a chair. Oh wait, can I get out of the chair to deal with the spider?
Yeah. I mean, how would you eat it otherwise?
All
It
right,
would just like run away from you.
All right, yeah. No, fucking eat that goddamn New York donut.
Yeah, because I mean, like at that point, it kind of becomes like kung fu training. Like you got to catch the spider.
Yeah. But the thing is, if you can't eat the 1,000 donuts in your time limit, you're fucking banished to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah.
Wait, are they donuts or are they spiders?
Like you eat 1,000 donut spider-sized donuts determined by a D100.
Yeah.
So you can get
One
lucky and
live
roll a
spider.
1, and it's like basically the tiny little spiders, and it's like now it's like rice. It's like a bowl of fucking rice-sized donuts. Yeah, easy. But what if you roll a 60 like he just did? So you have to eat 1,000
tarantula-sized donuts.
Tarantula-sized donuts in this 10-hour period, or be banished to the Shadow Realm. You gonna take that gamble?
No.
No, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna take
and then
it.
if you chose the option from a previous would you rather, you would eat all those donuts and then poop spiders.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like full circle.
Yeah, it could be a box of cereal-sized donuts, like cereal grains, or tarantula-sized donuts, like fully stocked. Like someone just delivered to you 1,000 regular-sized Dunkin' Donuts, and like eat all 1,000 of these in 10 hours or die. I don't think I can. I don't think I can do it.
Too much.
Because either it's a pace I can't maintain.
No, I think the one you're just gonna have to deal with the one spider in 10 hours.
Yeah, and if he's making me roll a D100, there's also going to be a gin overlay of critical success, which is going to double the size of the fucking. He's going to incorporate some bullshit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm eating that whole. It's going to be the worst most traumatizing 4 hours of my life.
Never coming at you. I don't know. That's hot dog eating contests. Like they really nail it. Like what if you dunk the hot
I'm not one of those people though, are you?
Yeah, but you can
but you don't have that. It is you and this object.
And I assure you, Rob, that dunking it in moisture is not the key to the successful ability to eat that much food. I assure you that that's not the secret to overeating.
It has to. Because you just reduce it to like base sugars.
Okay.
I don't know. That was all.
So you're just gonna start jamming them in cups until they dissolve into liquid in the mass?
No, you dunk it. You dunk it in.
What about all the bread? Donuts are
it.
fried bread, right?
Yeah, and then you wiggle and it settles.
And then it keeps taking it. So they're compacting it and they're good.
Yeah.
It's not the secret.
No, you're compacting it and then you poop it out.
You can eat 1,000 donuts.
I can poop out 1,000
I'm
donuts.
eating one horrible spider, and I'm gonna live and not be banished to the Shadow Realm. And you'll see me streaming tomorrow. I'll be crying. I'll be a mess, but I'll be here.
No, I'll do the one spider too. It's smarter, but
I mean, that might be a huge confidence boost. You just be like, yo, I just like murdered this fucking spider and ate it like a savage. Like I can do anything now.
Yeah, I have to process that in my own time.
I will say this: I see a lot of people being like, "Oh, I'll just cook that spider." I'm like, no.
No, I'm into.
Let me paint a picture. This is a concrete room with no doors or windows. All you have is yourself, and there's a spider there. So I don't like. That's it. You don't get to cook it or fry it or put hot sauce on it or whatever the fuck people are talking about. Like that's not the scenario. You can't game this.
It's a larger than average sized donut made manifest into a living fucking spider that you're gonna have to jam into your mouth and eat. Like, I'm not from New Guinea, so this is gonna be horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't a part of my Western diet. Anyway, Rob, thank you, Wyatt. That was horrible.
You're welcome.
What's
I
up,
enjoyed
Rob?
that immensely.
well, we had a new Games Workshop preview on Saturday. You may remember, although it probably seems like months ago, but really hasn't even been a week yet. That's the year we're in. Games Workshop showed off a lot of stuff. Actually, I think we've kind of been psyching ourselves out that we might have seen Battlefleet Gothic. It turns out the question mark logo was a new Warhammer Quest, which actually looks pretty dope.
You got to see them vampires. Those things are real cool.
Yep. We got to see some vampires as well. I think their new Warhammer Quest, what was it called? I forget. It's basically styled like Darkest Dungeon, sort of. The Cursed City, that's it. The artwork's almost very similar. I think that's going to be cool. I was really a big fan of Warhammer Quest when it came out, 2016, I believe. And I think it's a great game. Blackstone Fortress is very similar, but it's more helpful if you have like 4 other people to play it with. So I don't know these days if that's going to be a thing, but it's really fun. And I really enjoy the Warhammer Quest series so far since 2016. So that's really cool. So I'm sure it bodes well. And they haven't even shown all of the heroes yet. We saw, of course, the Vampire Hunter, Van Helsing looking mofo, very clutch.
That's pretty cool.
But if you look at the artwork, it looks like there's 3 other duders, an archer, a barbarian style, and possibly.
Maybe they'll do it like Vermintide.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like,
you give me a Slayer, I'm there, man.
This is sort of alchemist looking techno kind of duder. But yeah, if if the look of the vampire hunter guy is any indication, I mean, he's got an underslung stake launcher, like, dog. That's some dope mini design right there, like, for real. So I was really impressed with that. And of course, they got the vampires, and kind of like what I was saying last week, where I was like, I really like that. I kind of like that aristocratic kind of looking vampire. Well, they kind of did one of everything. I feel like
you have like your like big giant hulking vampire dude. You've got your more bat-like. Yeah. Then you've got the the lady who's like the more aristocrat, and then you have the fourth guy who's more of a Death Knight type looking guy,
or like a Blood Knight, like almost some Vlad look to him.
And the orange-haired anime lad was not part of that, so that probably means that we're going to get some type of Age of Sigmar release for vampires as well.
I mean, traditionally we see 2 AOS releases a year, like faction-wise, assuming they don't put something dope in the new starter. If we do get a new starter this summer, so that would be really cool to see. I mean, maybe they pair it up with. Maybe they pair Death up with some other Order faction. It's really hard to say at this point. But so far, the design of all of the Sigmar and that Warhammer Quest is looking really, really cool. Now, then we get to the new Lumineth Realm Lords and the Battle Kangaroos and the Battle Fox.
I think those are all like very interesting original ideas.
I do too.
I mean, like, if you don't like the aesthetic,
what's the Battle Kangaroo?
So it's like their cavalry is like these large kangaroo dinosaur looking things that they ride.
Oh, sick.
It's like, those like
they're
dinosaurs.
Called like tree hoppers or tree skimmers.
Yeah, like I forget what they're like a.
Do they ride in the pouch or on the back?
No, on the back. They're in the
Valid question.
That'd be great. I don't know, like who's a dinosaur nerd? What are those dinosaurs that were in the first Jurassic Park where they're in the open field and they look like ostrich dinosaurs? Long necks and the long
ostrich
long
dinosaurs.
So it's like that plus a kangaroo if they like hit those together, and so they have armor and like mounted knights and stuff on top of them. Like they're pretty cool looking. I'm just for the originality.
I have a question because I saw a picture of like a Sisters of Battle like Dread Knight the other day.
Oh, the Nundums, yeah,
the Nundums.
I guess I missed those. Are those new or?
Yeah, those are brand new.
I was thinking you were like that was the Battle Kangaroo. I was like, dope.
So yes, they revealed the Nundums as they've been dubbed by the community.
Here's something funny. Is our boy Carnage King? He already has some of those. He sent me some renders, and I was like, "Yeah, it's fucking sick."
There we go. That didn't take long.
I saw one post, and I saw every hater on the waifu boards.
Oh man,
comment.
People are so fucking salty about the dumbest shit.
And they were like, I saw people. They were like, man, this is just so stupid. The game was supposed to be grimdark. I remember 3rd edition, like reading about the chaos demons and having nightmares and the Tyranid invasions, and I was like, were you like a baby? Like not like.
Were you even there? Like,
like I'm just like thinking like if I was like, you got literal nightmares from reading like
pull up
the 3rd edition
looked
Demon
like
Codex?
In 3rd edition. Like I guarantee most people that talk that way don't know what 3rd edition looked like or weren't there for it. And definitely weren't there for.
There has always been a goofy overtone to this game, and like never has there not been. Like, and so I don't have a problem with these Nundums, and I actually like moving toward a game system where everyone has kind of like some big badass sci-fi shit. And it's sort of more crazy sci-fi shit that you add to a game where we still use swords and lasers and shit. The fucking cooler, man.
Like, it's like they decided to give Sisters of Battle a super unique heavy infantry thing, which is awesome. Like those models are super dope, I think there's this huge disconnect in a lot of the 40K community where they equate I don't like this to like objectively bad, which is it's not the case. Like you're fully free to just not like something, but don't get it twisted that your opinion on, the aesthetic of a toy soldier, it doesn't matter. Like some people think they're cool. Some people think they're dumb, but 40K has always been a little dumb. And that's why most people like it. It's a bunch of dudes that are juiced up, with power armor and chainsaw swords.
Like you have a guy,
space demons.
You have a guy who, like a standard gun he was issued to him is like a 75 caliber self-propelled explosive depleted uranium tipped fucking automatic weapon that he can hold in one hand and shoot. And he has chosen to, instead of an oversized hand that can't do any tactile functions, to punch things with.
Yeah.
Like that is the game we fucking play. It's dope.
The peak of human engineering, we have laser weaponry, and he's like, fuck that. I want a sword that goes brr with chainsaw on it. Like, that's 40K. And if you're not down with that, then I don't know what
I don't know what game you're playing. I don't know what memories you have.
Like, game for sure.
40K is not bolt action in the future, right? That's not the game that we play.
Right.
And when you go back in time, remember the box art to these things? I mean, like third edition, second edition. I was like, these dudes.
That's one of my favorite things. The people that are like, oh, this new logo is too colorful. I want my grimdark. It's like, dog, have you never seen a logo like prior to 5th edition? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. Great. Or prior to no helmets. Say, right. Like, we have these helmets that are like basically Iron Man, Tony Stark helmets, right? Like
full on AI machine spirit,
and like
heads up display.
Stupid brain, stop, talk to me. I
want to feel the blood spatter hit my skin.
Yeah.
When I slay a heretic
with my
chainsaw sword.
Yeah. Like
yes. No, they actually come with helmets. There's different
see, I love the mean mug bareface one. Like that stern look she's got. Like that mean mug is gangster, dude. Like that fucking piercing gaze she has. I would definitely keep at least one of them with that.
She's got a robot eye.
Fucking sick.
Oh no, I guess there's another one with hair too. Yeah, these are very curious. Like, obviously, nobody expected anything like this, and they seem to have a lot of options. Size wise, they kind of look like they're mounted on a 50 mil base. Probably,
yeah, 'cause it's still a sister in there.
Yeah,
yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're heavy. Some heavy infantry option. It's like their Primaris option. I'm thinking like their heavy assault intercessor. Like it's like them, and I love it.
What? I think the biggest comparison is just to the Penitent engines. They're also on 50 mil bases. They're probably about the same size. Yeah. So they'll probably come in a box of 2, if I had to guess.
I'm with it. I'm so with it. They're super cool.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see the rules probably in one of those Warzone books in the near future, I would imagine. And if you're like, yeah, but Sisters just got a codex, well, so did Space Marines.
Did they
last fall?
Did they?
So
if they didn't get a codex this week, did they really get a codex?
Yeah, did they? So I imagine we'll see more on that. They also showed off the new Kill Team box.
Did Sisters get a 9th edition codex and we just totally missed it? Or are they still 9th edition? Oh, okay. So they didn't just get a codex. Nothing matters until they get a 9th edition one.
Well, they did just get a codex a year ago.
But did they?
It's not. No. What I just said. If it's not a 9th edition codex, it doesn't matter. Huh. That is the cycle of 40K.
Yeah. If they didn't get a codex in the last 45 minutes, I don't care.
It's a bit extreme.
Is it here yet? Well, remember too, they got the Palatine. They've already showed us rules on that.
They got some sick thing is they were kind of the codex that showed us what 9th edition was going to start to look like.
Right.
Remember? Where like we started realizing there wasn't going to be independent characters. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
Or like, I mean, we already kind of knew that, but there was this, we already knew that because 8th edition didn't have them, but I think it was more like there was going to be these bigger units that had different buffs and stuff that were going to be tougher to interact with. And then we saw the Silent King and we saw like all the Satans and all these new like fucking, and then Gazgo dropped. So it kind of started setting like that tone of like these awesome fucking beefy things. And I misspoke to that independent character. I was thinking of like the previous preview years before that. But Sisters got their range. They got their decks. They're going to have to get a new decks. And it's funny is like Sisters are kind of OP in a lot of ways. Like some people don't think they are. But
they can be very like they're well, okay. So Sisters are still sort of in that mode where there's like the way to run them and everything that's not that isn't very good. And so that's probably why they have that sort of reputation. But when you see the way to run them in a tournament, like they are strong. You have to respect them.
Yeah, if they're run correctly, they're really hard to interact with. And so, which is kind of like going to be part of our Dark Angel discussion later. And sorry, I didn't mean to derail you guys on that model. I saw a picture of it and I was like, is this real? I'm so stoked on it. And then I read the comments.
Oh, no, it's total Grimdark. It's dope.
Yeah.
They also announced the new Kill Team box set. It's an expansion. It's like for playing indoors, like in Catacombs. Of course, the Necron Flayed ones are in there that we kind of already knew about.
Okay, opposite emotion for this. I am immediately upset because they decided
locked the heavy intercessors behind the paywall.
Those motherfuckers, like, I'm back to hating GW. GW, go out to your local Dick store, get a whole bag of them put together, go home, have a nice wine pairing with it, and eat that whole bag of dicks.
So this is exactly what I was talking about with the no value and everything's fear of missing out. Hiding things behind a paywall, repackaging it down the road, selling it to us again. Codex a year ago, Codex a year later. This is the stuff you just have to hobby better. You have to find ways around it. You have to make your hobby dollars count where you can, and that's what we talk a lot about on the site.
You have to kind of redefine the parameters of what your value is, like for like what you get out of this. Because you're right, I think that's well stated, Rob. Like it is straight up FOMO. It's like fear of missing out marketing strategies, like.
And they're going to be allocated. They're going to be hard to get, and it's a self-perpetuating, self-fulfilling prophecy almost that I can't get this, but I could maybe irresponsibly print these things for myself, and then that opens up a whole nother can of worms that we're not really going to get.
When you say irresponsibly, do you mean like just not printing with the right settings, or with proper ventilation?
All of the above. I'll just let you imagine what I may or may not mean there. So all that aside, I think all of these again is gonna lead to a bad situation, a bad feel badsies down the road when we can't get our stuff, things are locked behind a paywall. People just get frustrated.
My gut tells me it's unsustainable, though the money they make doesn't support that.
They keep making money hand over fist. So maybe we're the crazy ones, I suppose. But
only time will tell.
Only time will tell. So one new Space Marine captain that we've been waiting on as well. And of course, the heavy intercessors, the Necron Flayed ones and the Necron Chronomancer are coming in this box as well. No idea on the price. I forgot to look up the last one, how much that was, but I want to say it was 170, but I might be making that up right now. And before we get into the actual new release pricing for the Space Marines and Dark Angels, I want to talk about maybe the coolest part of the preview that just happened, and that was the brand new War Master Titan reveal. I think this is really cool, and
you already cleared it already. Just go with it.
This kit was obviously, we talked about this last week, based on some dope ass art from back in the day, revisited till now. This thing is big. This is probably going to be GW's like showpiece model for Adeptus Titanicus. It could be on a 150 oval. It could be on a 170 oval. It's definitely probably Imperial Knight size, 40K Imperial Knight size for Titanicus. It's going to be an expensive model for sure.
Oh, yeah. If it's that big, that model's already like over $100.
Well, the Warlord Titan, which is smaller than this, is 110. So this kit
outside of its girth, what makes it cool?
Well, the thing that's cool about this is we've already known about it for a while. So now we kind of get this refresh, this fresh version, brand new rules, huge ass command terminal. It's got an extra point of damage. It's got extra point of critical damage.
Can you go back and explain to me what a large terminal means?
So you control. So with Titans, you kind of have your little battleship board, like where you put little pins in for damage and things. And that's how you keep track of where your shields are, where your reactor is. Yeah.
Okay. Never mind.
So it's bigger. You can actually kind of take war gear for it now, which is really neat. It's got more chances to recover battle damage. It's more than the cost of 2 Warlord Titans. And it's kind of restricted. Basically, you're not going to field more than one of these in a list, most likely. You could probably get around it, but I don't think you would. It's got an armored knee cannon. It's got a knee cannon. It's got an armored cockrobe. I know you would like that.
Steel nut curtain.
Yes, that's also a good one.
Reinforced nut curtain.
The kit's just cool. It's the biggest Titanicus model we've seen yet, and the fact that they have this and they have the 3D renders means we'll probably see it in full 40K scale at some point in the near future from Forge World, because there's no reason not to. They literally, it looks like it's designed to actually support its own weight. Resin wise, I don't see why they couldn't make this in resin. Chances are it's probably the.
So you're excited for the fact that, or for the possibility this might be a real, actual gigantic unit.
I would be very not surprised if this fall they're like, hey, by the way, that Titan, it's real. It's in 40K scale. Get it now. Only $3,000. Buy now. But yeah, this is
reasonable.
Really, yeah.
Wonder what the price that I would pay for it would be from our friends.
$60.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously have some options there depending on what you want to do, I'm sure. But brand new from Forge World with a certificate of authenticity.
Totally worth $3,000. You just told me.
I didn't say it was worth it. I'm just going to say that's probably what it'll probably be. Give or take. Who knows? I don't know. But this is pretty cool to see. Let's get into the pricing. Unfortunately, things are allocated once again this week. They allocated the Dark Angels Codex to 15, down from 30 for the Death Guard one last week. Now, the price is still relatively the same. It's $30 for the Dark Angels Codex because it is a supplement. You still need the Space Marine Codex.
Okay. I was like, okay. Yeah, I forgot.
That's less.
I was like, that's substantially less.
Combat Patrol Dark Angels is 140. Now, we did a breakdown on the value of that. It seems to be a little bit lower. I think they're taking more into account the upgrade sprues that may or may not come in this thing. It looks like it at least has one. So that's a little disappointing to see. The value isn't 100% there. But currently, the Redemptor Dreadnought is sold out on GDub's site. So I guess it's a way to get something that you might not be able to get quite as easily right now. Stores are limited to 5 of those, 5 of the Eradicators, 5 of the Blade Guards, 5 of the new Storm Speeder, and 5 of the Necron Psychomancer, which is the other Cryptek that's coming out that's not locked behind a paywall inside of the Kill Team.
You said Psychomancer this time?
Yes.
So there's a Chronomancer and a Psychomancer?
Mm-hmm.
God, I fucking love these names.
They are pretty dope. The Eradicators are $50, the Blade Guard Veterans are $50, and the Storm Speeder is $65. There's also a new Underworlds box, Cargo's Raveners, which are, I guess, more like the kind of like a cross between Marauders and Chaos Warriors. Dark Angel data cards are only $15, and of course they'll have the limited edition collector's set, collector's book on GDub's site. I think that's $80 as well, but I can't see my printer didn't print that one. But either way, if you want it, it'll be up over there. And I wanted to do a shout out to a lot of the 3D designers out there that had this was a really good month for Patreon. If you are subbed for 3D files, if you like to print out some of the stuff from different makers out there, there was a very wide range and really, really good stuff came out this month. So I wanted to kind of run down a list in case you missed it, because you might only have about 5 days or so, probably less by the time you hear this podcast, to go pledge and get these models. So from Asgard Rising, which is kind of like Vikings and stuff, they put out a series of villagers. So like you could easily use those as like NPCs in different games, which I think is pretty neat. So it's not just, like, hey, I don't really do Vikings. Well, these things would be pretty cool in a lot of different scenarios as well. Reptilian Overlords came out with their Space Nom Welders, which are pretty dope looking. 3D art kind of did a kind of throwback to Phyrexia and Magic the Gathering, like a lot of Phyrexia inspired kind of models over there, which are pretty cool. My personal favorite, and probably one of my top 3 favorite miniature designs in 3D that I've seen in quite some time, is from Anvil Digital Industries this month. They did a really cool light mech that has I mean, so many different parts on it. You can really customize this thing, and they give you the blender files, and so you can really play around with it and just really dial it in any way you want. They got shoulder mounted weapons. They've got arm weapons where you can actually like hold the rifles, and the rifle actually has a whole bunch of different parts. It's kind of crazy. Cockpit options, power plant options. It's insane how specialized you can really make this kit. And it was a really big undertaking, and I think it's definitely worth mentioning. They are also going to offer it in resin down the road in the spring, but it'll be, I think they said $40. Won't have as many options, of course, but now's the time, next couple of days, to get in on that if you want to check that out.
Where can we get that, Rob?
That's Anvil Industries or Anvil Digital Industries on Patreon. All these are Patreons.
Oh, okay, Patreon. Gotcha.
Yep. They will offer it on their site for sale in resin at some point.
Like the actual print.
Yeah. Well, no, actual cast print.
Yes. Word is.
Yeah. So this is for the files.
So the files.
Right. This is all for files. One Page Rules has two different offerings, a fantasy and a sci-fi. They did basically a Necron inspired kind of run, which really has taken a lot of elements from also Magic Pyrexia, but I think a lot with General Grievous from Star Wars 2 is very cool looking, and Lizardman as well. Gamek has been really crushing it as well lately. He just hit over 1,000 subs, and he's doing a free Lord of Battle that I think you can get for the rest of this month, or it might be a next month thing. He did Chaos Warriors this month and Space Jesters. The Space Jesters are really well done. Sounds
like a solid group of players.
It is a solid group of players. Last but certainly not least, Maker's Cult had some really good stuff too. Walkers and jet bikes. They did basically some Sentinels that are really cool, kind of like the RT Walkers from Star Wars Legion, and some dope ass jet bikes. And the Evil One did some more kind of Slaneshi inspired stuff, like some Cacophony. But all of them are great. Definitely check all these guys out. I'm sure I'm missing some on the RPG side of things, but this is more sci-fi and fantasy that I'm tracking. That was a lot of talking, and I got to talk more than 30 seconds about Titanicus. So I'll let you guys talk about some rule stuff now, I guess.
I want to just comment to that. Like, I'm really blown away by the market. Like, how many people out there are just awesome ass digital artists. They probably went to school for it.
Insane.
We're trying to, probably with the intent of being like in the video game scene. And then, I believe in my heart that if you have something worth money, you should make money. And especially in the arts. And I think it is so fucking awesome that 3D printing is in a place where these people can do their art, right? Because there used to be so much more to it. Like, oh, I can do these sculpts and everything, but okay, cool. Now we gotta what
do I do with it?
Now what do I do with it? I gotta have this manufacturing process. I gotta fucking sling these models. I gotta hope we don't gotta And it's just like, nah, dude. I just make the dope fucking STLs because that's what I went to school for, and I'm sick at it. So I love that now. Like, now that this Patreon subscription model for STLs is really taking off, shit makes me happy to hear. That's just a little side note. As an artist, I love that.
No, I mean, you got to support the arts, just like you got to support the game stores, and that's why we've actually done a lot with a lot of the 3D digital artists. Like we have a little STL buffet on our Patreon. So if you sign up for Spiky Bits Patreon, you can actually get a lot of these digital files to print yourself and try them out and be like, oh, I like this guy's stuff. Not so much on this guy. Let me go pledge him too. So, we're kind of doing our part too to try to help promote these guys. And every month we do a post on their newest stuff. But we don't have a formal agreement with some of the people I mentioned. I just follow their stuff, and I think I pledged Anvil Industries too. So I'll put a link in chat because some people are asking about it. Really, if you just go to spikybits.com and we have a Patreon category, it probably has all of them on it, but I'll put that in chat so you can check it out.
A lot of these artists are also licensing these STLs to people who are doing print on demand services. So if you're like, man, all this sounds really cool, but I don't have a 3D printer, just head over to the Spiky Bits web store, because those are going to be actual prints of those models that you can order, or check out Etsy. Not everybody is on the Etsy train, but I mean, if you go to Etsy and you type in miniatures, you're going to find a boatload of that stuff, and it's all print on demand, right? And then the other cool thing, because of how 3D printing works, is they can be any size you want. So some places is you get it this one size, or some places it's this model is really dope, but I want it in a larger scale. You can get that. And then some places are even doing like miniature statue scales, like those. I don't know the actual scale of them, but like, you know, some stuff that you might get at like Comic-Con, which is like, it's like a 9-inch tall, you know, statue of this really cool character or something. You can get that too if you really want one.
Yep. I think it's pretty amazing, and the community has really it's basically exploded during, you know, the quarantine and stuff, because everybody's experimenting and trying new things, and there's so many folks out there doing such great work. You know, I didn't mention Dark Gods. Dark Gods just did a really dope Kickstarter for a bunch of Nurgle stuff. They have a Harpy now, and they're working on some other things I can't talk about. But I mean, there's so many folks out there so talented. So, you know, if you see something that tickles your hobby pickle, you know, throw them some cash.
Throw some cash. Start printing models today.
Yeah, $10 a day. You can support an artist for 1 month. There's other places you can sub $10 a day or $10 a month. You know, for some artisty stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, my Mortarion video just dropped. I was literally going to do this whole show without mentioning it. My first over 1 hour studio tutorial just dropped on my Patreon page. Also, the throttled version of it is on YouTube free to play right now. But let me just drop this. The throttled version is a 40-minute studio tutorial on YouTube that'll take you to a battle ready state. And the final 26 minutes of the video take you to that next level. And that's going to be behind my Patreon paywall forever. That's going to be the new model. Like, it's not going to be early access. It's going to be something like kind of the Rob's point earlier, like with value. I've added value to my Patreon page, so they get that extra 26 minutes. It's 2 videos. They're slightly different. And so that has occurred. It's my biggest, most baller production yet. Over an hour long, Mortarion, start to finish.
I've seen it. It's legit. Definitely recommend people check it out.
Oh, and Sheldon mentioned it took me 50 fucking hours to produce it, to like film and paint it.
I mean, half of that was you browsing OnlyFans, but it's still respectable.
I can do 2 things at once.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
No, I can't.
No, I can't.
I can't. So let's do it. Let's fucking jump into the table. The meat and potatoes, Dark Angels. We've got a suite of Warhammer community previews. Some exciting updates, and Wyatt's going to walk us through them, and we'll comment to them.
Hells yeah. So first up, they showed off was some interesting new abilities. Like, they're going to have their own psychic power table. They showed off Mind Wipe. That's historically been a kind of iconic Dark Angels power that's done different things over the editions. So in this edition, it's a malediction, has a warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select 1 enemy unit within 18 inches. Then select 1 aura ability that unit has. Until the start of your next psychic phase, that unit loses that aura ability.
That is...
What's an aura?
Well, I mean, we'll talk about that. But you actually kind of like solved that problem for me earlier. Wyatt was taking a shit or something when he wasn't in the call.
Wyatt was taking a shit, or I was taking a shit?
No. Wyatt was, remember,
when I was cooking soup?
Yeah, well, I assumed you were pooping, but...
No, I was cooking soup.
Oh, okay. That's what we call it now? I was cooking soup too, dog.
No, I was literally making some...
I make a lot of soup.
Chicken soup.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But so on the surface, this Psychic power is highly 9th edition powerful, right? Because you guys may have noticed that like a lot of cool abilities, especially the Death Guard Codex, have aura ability keyword. So being able to select an aura ability and shutting it down, what's the range of this spell?
18 inches.
From 18 inches away, pretty fucking good, man. You know,
it's a great targeted spell.
It's incredible, right? But there's a little bit of a problem with the way they presented with it to us. But Rob brought up some insight. He's like, that's not a screenshot from the Codex, dude. That's like a different graphic design department on their page. Because if you look at the screenshot, it doesn't say aura abilities bolded with a capital A. It's currently not presented as a keyword, right? So what is that? So it doesn't really target the keyword or abilities as they showed us the screenshot. It targets the English language or ability. You know what I'm saying? Not the rules interaction. So it it means almost anything you want it to mean right now.
Yeah, it's really weird because like with the new codexes, they've come out and given keywords to clarify a lot of this stuff because I'm sure you guys remember there was that one stratagem or I think it was like a warlord trait or something the Night Lords had, where it's like, yeah, it turns off aura abilities around it, right? And everybody was like, oh, this is super cool. And then when it got into practice, they were like, well, what is an aura ability?
Yeah, and when it got into practice, it was since there was no actual precedent, it was a pretty simple conversation because we were just using the English language. Well, what would you call a AoE ability? I would call that an aura. Okay. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really a big conversation point.
Yes.
But we also have bolded keywords, and this is just snap. But the thing is, I believe Rob is correct. Is like, no, that's just literally a graphic designer who put that up on their page. It's not like they took a picture out of the printed codex.
Right. Right.
So
yeah, it's entirely possible that like the wording might be slightly different or that kind of thing. But
because it's utterly broken. Lavaris brought up a good point because he says contagions don't count as auras. Correct, and that's a really good example. Mortarion is a single model that has things that are aura abilities keyworded and things that you would in English language call an aura, like a contagion. But contagions don't have the aura ability keyword; they have the contagion keyword. So you can't target that keyword if your thing says I only target aura ability keywords. But the screenshot they gave us doesn't present either. So now it's a rules argument, but I don't think that's the way it's in the code. I think in the codex it's all bolded in a keyword.
Yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see. But the idea behind this is very cool. And one of the things I was talking to my friend who's a Dark Angel guy, I was like, I really like this because it's strong, but it's not busted and it doesn't cause feel bads, right? Because there are some things that we've had in the past where it's just like, I'm going to do this thing and it picks up your models, right? And that's kind of like a feel bad because there's no way to stop it. Whereas this one is just like, this is just a targeted debuff that's like, I'm going to take away one of your superpowers, but your model is still there. It can still shoot. It can still fight. It can still do all of its things. It's just, you no longer have that buff thing that it has anymore, which is cool. Like a targeted debuff.
Agreed. I think it's very powerful. It really showcases things and it's important. And it's just cool to think about like how we're going to be moving forward and how aura abilities are going to be defined. And you can have a guy with multiple AoEs, but not defined as auras. And you can expect all the old 8th edition codexes to also have that treatment, right? Like you're going to start seeing like, oh, this is an aura ability. This isn't. And it's really giving us a keyword like is always good because that means things like this sacred power can target them. That means like other things can increase them. There's a whole new interaction, a whole new world, as it were.
Oh, yeah. And the other psychic power they show off is Engulfing Fear. Also a malediction. Has a warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 24 inches of this psyker. Until the start of your next phase, subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic of models in that unit. That unit cannot use the objective secured ability or any similar abilities that allow them to control an objective marker regardless of the number of enemy models within range of an objective marker. If the result of the psychic test was equal to or greater than the unit's leadership characteristic, that unit cannot perform actions. If that unit is currently performing an action, it immediately fails.
What a baller ass fucking power.
Yes. Again, this is super cool. It's very strong tactically, but it is not a feel badsy type thing, right? Like everybody remembers Jaws the World Wolf, right? How it was just like, that was what we don't want, right? No. This is what we do want. This is like playing the format of the game to score points and be the better general. And it does not cause the crazy feel badsies of the previous editions.
Yes. Well stated.
They show off a new relic for the chaplains because we like our chaplains in Dark Angels. It's called the Mace of Redemption for a Power Maul or Crozius Arcanum only. Strength ×2, -3, 2 damage. And its ability is each time an attack is made with this weapon against a fallen or heretic Astartes unit, an unmodified wound roll of 4+ inflicts 2 mortal wounds in the target.
It's a steep condition, but a fucking solid return.
Right. This is interesting too, because this is something we haven't seen a whole lot of. It says, on a wound roll of 4 up, inflicts 2 mortal wounds on the target and the attack sequence ends. So that does not mean those dice convert into like damage on top of everything else. It's those dice turn into mortal wounds and the attack sequence ends.
Interesting.
They talk about how the Heavenfall blade is different now. It's strength +2, -4 AP, 2 damage. Each time the bearer fights, makes 1 additional attack with this weapon. And it also says that a Ravenwing Talon Master is eligible to be given this relic, even though it is a vehicle.
Yeah.
Nice.
People like them Talon Masters. They're super cool. And now they can have a dope relic. Some stratagems. They've got Line Unbreakable for 1 CP. Use the stratagem at the start of the fight phase. Select 1 Dark Angel's infantry unit from your army. Until the end of that phase, that unit can only be selected as a target for melee attacks if the attacking model is within engagement range of it. Note that this means that enemy models that are not within engagement range, but are within ½ inch of a model from their own unit that is itself within a ½ inch of this Dark Angel's infantry unit, cannot target it with melee attacks this phase.
That's a pretty fucking interesting stratagem.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lots of uses for that. I think the way this is worded, it blocks out any fight twice stuff because it's triggered at the start of the fight phase. And it also takes away a lot of the like rank and file attacks of large units. Or just like even like if you were to think about it as like an elite unit, if only like 2 guys are touching you and the other guys are kind of like behind them or like wedged in between, 2 pieces of terrain or something like that. Normally you'd get more attacks with that unit, but now it's like you cut those extra attacks off with only the guys in base-to-base contact.
That's pretty powerful.
Intractable for 2 CP. Use a stratagem in your movement phase when a Dark Angel's unit from your army is selected to fall back. If that unit has the Inner Circle ability, you do not need to first roll 2d6 to see if it can fall back. It can automatically do so. Until the end of that turn, that unit is eligible to shoot.
Pretty nice. Because that's one of the Inner Circle rules, right?
Right, yeah. So it's like you have to roll I think it's like a leadership on 2d6, and then they can fall back. So this lets you be like really tactical and then fall back and shoot, even if they have that thing. So it's like they force you to spend some resources to do that. And they reworked their super doctrine. So they have fire discipline. While the tactical doctrine is active for your army, infantry models from your army, excluding Deathwing models, can make attacks with rapid fire and assault weapons, excluding blast weapons, while within engagement range of enemy units, but must target an enemy unit that is within engagement range of its own unit when they do so. In such circumstances, the model can target an enemy unit even if other friendly units are within engagement range of the same enemy unit. And while it is making such an attack, it has a ballistic skill of 5-up.
It seems like a win-win. That
is a really fucking good doctrine.
Yes. There are also some rumors, so, maybe, maybe not, but that the Ravenwing and the Deathwing are going to have their own super doctrines.
That would make sense.
So we'll have to see, but just this in and of itself,
if they're not included in this,
yeah. Pretty neato. And then they talk about the Ravenwing, so they got their own article, and this is what has a lot of White Scars players whinging all over it. It's if every unit in your army except unaligned units has the Dark Angels keyword, then Dark Angels outrider detachments that only contain models with the Ravenwing keyword gain the second company ability. Mm-hmm. And Bike and Outrider squads in this detachment gain the objective secured ability. And if your Warlord is part of this detachment, the detachment's command benefits are changed to +3 command points.
Spicy lets them play that fucking old school Ravenwing style. This is
super cool.
Cool.
It is dope. But not if you're a White Scars player. Sorry.
Well, nobody cares about them anyways.
Wow.
I mean, Wyatt doesn't care about them.
But I think we should clarify it. Nobody be like, does that mean Wyatt?
It means Wyatt.
Okay.
I speak for everybody in this community.
Oh, okay.
This is breaking news.
Yeah.
Wyatt speaks.
We've talked about it a little bit before. I wish White Scars are cool, but right now they're not only a little bit problematic.
They'll get their own book.
Like just boring and bland. And
just wait 45 minutes. They'll get their own book. By the time this podcast is over, White Scars will have their
You're
own
right.
book.
That's actually a fact. You're right. Cheer up, White Scar players.
Yeah. The best is yet to come, guys.
What else for the Raven Wing today?
We got some abilities. So Speed of the Raven, while the Devastator Doctrine is active for your army, add 3 inches to the move characteristic of Ravenwing models. Ravenwing units from your army are eligible to shoot within a turn in which they advanced. Each time a model in that unit makes a ranged attack in a turn in which it advanced, that attack suffers the penalty incurred to the hit roll as if firing an assault weapon.
Wow. Fast and deadly.
Mm-hmm. We also got some stratagems. Full throttle, 1 CP or 2 CP. Use a stratagem in your movement phase after a Ravenwing unit from your army advances. That unit immediately makes a normal move of up to 12 inches, but is not eligible to shoot or declare a charge this turn. If that unit contains 5 or fewer models, it costs 1 CP. Otherwise, it costs 2.
Solid mobility stratagem.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. High speed focus for 1 CP. Use a stratagem in your opponent's shooting phase. When you allocate a ranged attack to a Ravenwing vehicle model from your army, until the start of your next turn, that model has a 4-up invul save against ranged attacks.
Yeah, it's super good.
Yep, real good.
The procedure on that is desirable.
Yeah. They also mentioned that Jink is still a thing.
Very cool. Lots of, not a lot of like OP feel bad Z-Wombo combos. It's just like useful stuff that you're rewarded for taking like a thematic army of Ravenwing, which a lot of people like to do.
Now, what bikes do you use?
Obviously.
Well, that's always a discussion because they have kind of raised and lowered in usefulness depending on like their stat line and points. So like it used to be back in the day, like Black Knights were like the fucking heater, right? And then it was like, well, Black Knights are way too expensive now.
Plasma Talons and shit.
Yeah, so I'm going to use like regular bikers and attack bikes. And now we have Outriders, right? Well, I mean, I'm not an expert on Dark Angels meta right now, so I'd have to like ask my friend who keeps up with that shit. But that's kind of what he was doing is like, do I want regular bikers as opposed to Black Knights because of points efficiency? Or do I want like Outriders and Black Knights? It's kind of like back and forth. But they have like a handful of really useful units, including some of their specialist land speeders that are pretty handy.
Yeah, it's not just bikes that are Ravenwing. They've got specialized bikes.
Yeah.
And they can get the ATV.
Right. And then like we'll have to see if they retain some of the stuff they had before, like combined assault was called, right? Where like you can teleport Homer off of a Ravenwing unit with a death. So like that was a supplement stratagem, right? Mm-hmm. So we don't know if they'll still have that or not. So it'll be interesting to see. And then we get a Deathwing article. And so they kind of got the same thing. They get the first company. So it's if everything in a Vanguard detachment has the Deathwing or Inner Circle keywords, it's plus 3 CP if the Warlord is there. And Deathwing Terminator Squad, Terminator Assault Squad, and Relic Terminator squads get OBSEC. And so notice that a couple of things are left out, specifically Deathwing Knights are not part of that. So there's some restrictions on this, but you are rewarded heavily for, bringing that Deathwing. Then they show a table where you can pay points to give units the Inner Circle keyword. Yes. So you have like some characters, Dreadnought, Land Raider, there are Pulsar in there, Stormraven Gunship, and any transport that can transport Terminator models. It just says transport unit that can transport Terminators.
So Inner Circle is the transhuman?
Yes.
So you buy... So now you
characters.
Only on characters?
It's interesting that you can do that to vehicles.
Yeah, like I'd have to pull it up because I haven't read it word for word in a while, but I don't think it does not work for vehicles, and I don't think it works for characters. I think it's just like infantry unit.
Yeah. But I mean, but there's other things it does, right? Like,
Well, let me see.
yeah, let's look at it. Let's cross-reference. Like, I don't know.
Go hang out with our Russian friends who give us all this shit for free. Well, now we're all in Space Marines. So
I think it's in the. They had it indexed, didn't they?
well, it's been updated. So there's stratagems, detachment rules, Dark Angels. Let's see. Oh, actually, I don't think it does have, or maybe it's just not in this thing. Let me look at a data sheet.
Because I remember this being really powerful.
Deathwing Knights.
Yeah, what the fuck does Inner Circle even mean?
God damn it. It's Inner Circle.
I think they're in the index.
Son of a bitch. It's just telling me all the units that have it.
Rob,
I'm looking
go
for
down
the
your
index.
path. Someone in chat might figure it out before us. I want to know what these points get me.
It definitely, the Inner Circle. Oh, wait, here it is. Sorry. Each time a morale test, it's automatically passed while it's within engagement range of any fallen units. Unless they have the vehicle keyword, that unit cannot fall back. Each time you select this unit to fall back, roll 2d6, and it's got to equal the leadership. It can't fall back. And it says each time an attack is made against this unit, if this unit has the infantry keyword, it has transhuman.
So you get all those things, but you only get the transhuman if you have the infantry keyword.
Yes. So
Which is
mainly
really powerful.
this type of stuff is for like the other stuff and the ability to keep the first company rule. So it's like you have to give Inner Circle to that Dreadnought or that Land Raider or whatever to maintain the detachment.
Yeah, you have
bonus.
to pay a tax to do this. And determine you're obviously going to be giving it to anyone who benefits from transhuman gladly. That's it.
So HQs, pretty much all HQs in the Codex have Inner Circle already, and they do not get that because it states specifically which units in the first company get this. So unless it states it, they don't have it, and characters don't get OBSEC. Neither do Deathwing Knights.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it says Deathwing Terminator Assault Squad, Relic Terminator Assault Squad get OBSEC. That's it.
It uses the actual title. But still, super fucking good.
Really
fucking
cool. Then they have Deathwing Assault. Deathwing Assault comes back, 1 CP. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase when a Deathwing unit from your army is selected to shoot. Each time, a model in that unit makes a ranged attack if it was set up on the battlefield this turn. As a result of Teleport Homer or Teleport Strike, add 1 to the attack's wound roll.
+1 to wound, but with conditions, right? So we saw Veterans of the Long War go up to 2 CPs in the Death Guard Codex, right? But it's for infantry people. This one is like got further conditions, right? You got to teleport, deep strike, whatever, Terminator, but it's only 1 CP. +1 to wound is one of the best stratagems you can have. Dope.
Yeah, it's really cool. It makes your standard Terminator loadouts hit a lot harder. So it's pretty handy. And then they have one for Deathwing Knights. No foe too great to subdue for 2 CP.
Interesting.
Use this in the fight phase. When a Deathwing Knights unit is chosen to fight, until the end of the phase, each time a model in that Deathwing Knights unit makes an attack with a Mace of Absolution against a vehicle or monster, add 1 to that attack's wound roll and improve the AP by 1. So that makes the Mace of Absolution strength. Well, it's still strength 8, but you get +1 to wound, and then it makes it -3 AP, 3 damage.
Bye, Felicia.
super good.
Yeah.
Real good at killing knights. And Morty as well.
Oh, yeah, that'll fuck people up.
Deathwing Knights are actually a pretty scary unit to Morty. Their stuff. The only thing they're going to lose against them is, maybe a Feel No Pain aura and rerolls. But, they hit really hard. They have a Space Marine stat line. And then having
vulnerables
+1 to wound. Yeah. Yeah. Super cool. I think, so that's all the Deathwing stuff. So that's kind of what we're speculating on, because like we have like the Green Wing Super Doctrine and the Raven Wing Super Doctrine, but they did not show off if the Deathwing have one, or if they do, what that might be. So we're still kind of like, are they going to get one?
Look,
what is it? Yeah. So we'll have to see. Probably some more previews and stuff to come.
Yeah, that's right, chat. Crickster says that -1 toughness disorder doesn't mean shit with all that transhuman. That is a fact.
Yep.
A lot of things don't mean shit. Transhuman, real good.
Yeah.
Anything that that stonewalls the wound roll to a minimum is that's what we were just saying. Like +1 to wound is so good for the same reason that stopping wound rolls beyond a certain number is really good. The wound roll is where the magic happens. We have a plethora of ways to reroll hits to get our hits to almost automatically land. So anything that manipulates the follow-up dice roll is real strong right now.
So somebody was asking if we can make Blade Guard veterans Inner Circle or Deathwing. So they have the rites of initiation table shown. We don't know if this is everything on that table,
or that
if
you could play a strat maybe and something could get a roll.
Well, it says in the article, it says it used to be you pay command points. Now it merely costs a handful of points to unlock those Deathwing benefits. So we have this table they show, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. Blade Guard are not on there. There's a handful of units that are not on there that we wish, like aggressors and some other things. So I can't tell you 100% because with these previews, we don't know if this is actually what's going to be in the book or if this is a tidbit what's going to be in the book. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, remember for like months, people didn't want to believe Discussing Resilience was going to change, and then it did, and then everyone got sad, and then they believed that Mortarion didn't have a Feel No Pain, but he did.
Yeah,
I don't know how people thought that. Like, come on.
But I mean,
it's a good question to ask because like Blade Guard are really good. They're really strong. They have shown off the new Blade Guard models in the Deathwing color scheme, like officially on Warcom. But I mean, that could be a thematic thing, or maybe they're just choosing not to show that aspect of the codex yet. Right. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But even if they did, like, if we're going off of this first company thing being the rule as worded, even if you gave them that keyword, they're still not going to get OBSEC.
Yeah, but
right?
don't read too much into it, right? Because Mortarion did not have a 5-up Feel No Pain until they told us what those warlord traits did.
This is just a snapshot in a vacuum, to like, oh, that's cool, So we get the book and we see the official, folks this weekend. Well, I'm sure we'll have their YouTube videos up with a lot of the previews of what they think's good and things like that, and it'll be dope. The cycle starts again.
Oh yeah,
Keep me interested.
It never ended. Been on this train for 20 years.
This train doesn't have no stops,
no brakes.
It's heresy train. It's heresy hobby train.
Well, I think that was it. I think we did a show.
Haspil, oh, dang.
He's with us.
He's
going to reach out across the force and give us some wisdom.
He'll come back next week and be like, yo, I had this great outro. I'm gonna drop it on you this week. Anyway, so that's it for this one. Make sure you head on over to thelongwar.net. Become a veteran of the Long War today.